Welcome, and thank you for joining us for UATV's first ever mock draft special. I'm your co-host, Giannini, joined with my co-host, Colin Morgan. Colin, how are you doing tonight? You look great in your Giants jersey.
Hey, I'm ready. We got some interesting takes here, and I think we got a pretty good draft ahead of us.
I agree, and before we start, can we go ahead and get Colin's draft card? Oh, that's mine, so let's go with mine first. As you can see, I have graphics 100 overall, Colin. I think I'm pretty good at making graphics,
You are
right?
the master.
Would
you are
agree?
the master. I would
Can
agree
we
with
go
that.
ahead and get Colin's draft card up? Get Colin's draft card. There it is. Video on 100 overall, Colin.
Yeah,
I mean, you're the master.
I'd like to make a message out to my family and friends. A lot of you know that I tore my ACL back in the day, and unfortunately, I will not be declaring for this NFL draft. Obviously, as you know, I'm 6'9", so I would have been in this draft, but I'm out here supporting my fellow athletes, and I hope they all have very successful careers.
Yeah, I agree, Colin. I mean, 6'9", you would have been a killer tight end. Like, almost like LeBron out there.
Hey,
yeah.
Don't even get me started, man.
Well, I think that's enough of us, Colin. Let's get straight into this draft.
Absolutely.
We got a lot to talk about, starting off with the Tennessee Titans, Colin. This is a big one. This is a team that needs a quarterback. I think this one's pretty obvious here.
Yeah, I think Cam Ward is obviously the best quarterback in the entire draft. Listen, the Tennessee Titans took Will Levis a couple years ago. He's not panned out in any sense. Arguably the most memeable quarterback this entire last season. If you roll the footage here, Cam Ward from top to bottom carried a underperforming Miami team all year. As you can see here, he's going to throw back foot, and he's going to eat an easy touchdown against the Florida Gators. Here he's going to put a line drive right down the middle of the field for another easy touchdown. He did this all season for Miami, constantly taking them out of deep deficit losses to make them into some wins. Here he's going to do a little hurdle into the end zone off the pylon. Again, his vision, off-balance throws, he has it all. He is exactly what NFL teams think a generational quarterback could be. Again, another rope right down the middle to split the safety and the DB. That's exactly why he's the best quarterback in this draft and exactly why Tennessee needs him.
Yeah, I agree. This guy is minus 20,000 right now in the odds to be the first pick. Only pick right now that really just seem like he's an absolute lock,
Absolutely,
right?
I would agree with that.
I have to say one thing, fun fact about Cam Ward, big Pop-Tart guy. Favorite Pop-Tart flavor, hot fudge sundae.
Didn't know that was a flavor.
I think this is valid. I have not tried it, but after hearing that, I think I'm going to try it.
I think you should.
But I mean, this guy, 0-star recruit coming out of high school, big Pop-Tart guy. He was a beast at Wazoo. I see this guy being a great player in the NFL. I got his NFL comp as Baker Mayfield.
I think that's a good comp.
I agree. Well, I think that's enough with Cam Ward, the Titans. I think we all know he's going to be the first pick.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to the Cleveland Browns here.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting pick. Colin, who do you have the Browns picking?
So I have them taking Travis Hunter here. One important note that I do think they need a quarterback. However, that Deshaun Watson contract is still a burden to them. I don't know how they're going to get off it. They'll probably have to wait till another year in order to get off of that. So I think they take the best overall player here, which I know you have a little bit more to talk about, which I think is Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, Travis, this guy is a great player. They're saying the Browns are listening to trade calls, this, and that. But, I say roll the tape because this guy is dynamic. It's Travis Hunter. Deep ball for here from from Shedeur Sanders. Right here, look at this. The hands, the athletic ability, wow, this guy can do it all. And, I mean, he's a DB, too. Right here, the pick against Colorado State, he had a huge game. There's the speed right there, the athleticism, the yards after the catch to catch that ball. This guy is insane. You see right here the touchdown in the same game. I mean, this guy does it all, Colin. We haven't seen anything like this in a long time. And look at this right here. Gets that ball, 5-yard dive for that interception. I mean, we haven't seen a guy like this in a long time. I got his NFL comp as Chuck Benarnick, a.k.a. Concrete Charlie. From the 50s, he played for the Eagles, the last player
Get
ever.
in your
Last
bag.
player ever to play both sides of the ball. And I see Travis playing both sides.
Yeah.
I think this is a real deal situation.
Obviously,
you have a player playing both sides.
Definitely the best player in the draft for sure. There's a reason why he won the Heisman. I think the Browns need a lot of help all over, and I think he can do that. Get him in some special packages on both sides of the ball. I'm not sure if he'll be able to play 100% of the snaps like he did at Colorado, but I know he can be effective on both sides. 100%.
I agree. Let's lock in Travis Hunter, and let's move on to the next team, the New York Giants. Colin, I think I'm going to take a back seat on this one. We all know you're a huge Giants fan. Give me the rundown.
Listen, the Giants have a lot of issues. Quarterback has been a revolving door ever since Daniel Jones has left the team halfway through last season. However, they have a temporary fix right now after signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. So I don't think they go quarterback here. One of those teams you're talking about, they have been listening to trade calls. Ideally, I think they do look to trade down. But if we're talking about who's the best player on the board, it's Abdul Carter. If you roll that footage, the man has been an absolute stud the entire season for Penn State, wearing the number 11 jersey just like Micah Parsons, and arguably might be even more dominant. I mean, you watch his explosiveness off the ball. I mean, he killed Big Ten teams all year long. There was no way to stop him. Another monster sack, terrorizing offenses. I mean, look at this. His footwork is amazing. His swim moves, his power rush, he's been an all-time player. One of Penn State's all-time defensive players, another shoestring tackle. Don't worry, he can also stop the run as well, which has been a massive issue for the Giants. Obviously, Saquon Barkley ran all over them. So I think overall, Abdul Carter is the best fit here for the Giants. We need a little bit more consistently on the defensive pass rush side.
I gotta agree with you, Colin. This guy is my 650 odds right now to be the third overall pick to the Giants. So I think with that being said, I like it. Hope you like it for your team.
I do. I think it's a good move. I think it'll be a good move for the future, and I think he can kind of replace what we haven't had, which is consistent pass rusher.
I agree. Well, with that being said, I say let's roll on over to the next team, the New England Patriots. And this is a team that needs some O-line, Colin.
Yeah, definitely. They obviously draft Drake May, last year's draft, who had a pretty good season. However, I do think they need some O-line help. You want to make sure to develop your quarterback. You need offensive line protection. And I think Will Campbell is the best offensive lineman out of this entire draft, out of LSU. Listen, he's the best O-lineman. And at the end of the day, if you want to see what you can get out of Drake May, you need weapons and you need protection. They picked up Stephon Diggs in free agency. I think he's the best pick for them here.
Yeah, this guy right now, Will Campbell, minus 380 in the odds right now to be the 4th overall pick. I mean, this guy is just a tank. 6'6", 319. The only thing they're saying about him is he has short arms. How will that affect him in the NFL? But I think his athleticism, at the end of the day, you want a football player, right? You want a guy that can go out there on the offensive line, offensive tackle, and just protect, right? Prevent a sack. He had a 24-game streak this season not this season, but his career, without allowing a sack.
And he played in the SEC as well. So
in the SEC.
He is no unknown player to top talent, so I think he'll be just all right.
I agree. My player call for him is Tristan Wirfs. I see a very similar player with those two. I think Will Campbell, we'll talk about in 5 years, will be a great player.
I agree.
I say we'll move on over to the next team. We got a lot of players to talk about with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Colin, the Jaguars, they need a lot of things here, but they need some D-line.
Yeah, I think they should go Mason Graham. I think he is the best against the run. The Jaguars actually finished in the bottom 3 in the run this year, stopping the run, so I think he will be an absolute monster in the interior. I know you have some updates about the odds and who the favorite is right now in recent news, so if you want to go and talk about that.
Yeah, the odds is something, I usually look at odds. I say odds, sports books or whatever, but the odds, they keep up with the rumors. We're hearing a lot of rumors coming out these next couple of days, smoke screens here and there. What is happening? But the odds right now, the 5th pick, Ashton Jeanty, minus 125 to be the favorite. I mean, which is insane. Mason Graham's been the favorite for a long time. Yeah. So a lot of rumors going on right now. The books are saying minus 125. I'm going to say Mason Graham right now plus 220. I like him. I think that he's the best D tackle in this draft. The Jaguars need to beef up that offensive line. Will the Jags go for a skill position here? We're not sure. Will they trade down?
I could see them
trading down.
There's a lot
of possibilities here in this mock draft. Also, for clarification, we are not doing any trades.
Yep.
So that is a possibility. But if we're going straight up pick right here, I like Mason Graham.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Ashton Jeanty, which I think is a perfect segue into our next pick, which would be the Las Vegas Raiders, who you and I have picking Ashton Jeanty as well.
Yeah, I mean, Jeanty, come on. This guy is a one-of-a-kind. Without further ado, roll the tape. Watch this tape. Poor Georgia Southern. Jeanty runs through the whole defense. Looks like he's playing NCAA 25 out there. Are you kidding me? Look, at Oregon, a big school. Look at, this guy is gone. That is 6 to the house. Touchdown, Jeanty. My oh my. His best play this season right here against Wazoo. He probably breaks 8 tackles right there. That is another 6 to the house. My oh my. It looks like he is playing Pop Warner football out there, Colin. I haven't seen a guy like this in a long time. Probably since like Bijan Robinson and like Saquon Barkley. I got his NFL comp, Marshawn Lynch.
I have the exact same thing. That last run gives me Beastquake kind of vibes.
I agree, and I see Marshawn Lynch a lot of this game. One more thing I want to say about Genti. Favorite food, Louisiana catfish over rice. I mean, how could you not say this is the guy you want on your team?
He's a true dog. That's all I know.
That's all I know, too. I say move on to the next team, Colin. Still got a lot of players to talk about. The New York Jets.
Yeah, absolutely. The Jets are one of those teams where they obviously had Aaron Rodgers with all of his fiascos this last coming season. They got rid of him. He's still to sign with the team. We'll see if he retires or not. One thing they struggled with all season, though, was blocking. That was a major issue all season long. So I have him here taking a tackle, Armand Membu from Mizzou. I think he is the best, or the second to third best tackle. I do think this tackle draft is a little shaky. I could see them moving back here, but again, we're not doing any trades, so I think he's the best available for them at the board.
I agree right now. Membu is the favorite right now at plus 150, so not great odds. This is kind of when the odds get kind of skewed in the draft. There's so many possibilities. I got his NFL comp as Zach Tom from the Packers. I think he plays a lot like him. He's a little smaller of an NFL tackle compared to other guys. I mean, 6'4", that is a little small for a tackle, but the way he's able to adapt, he has great athleticism. He has the best overall athleticism score from the combine. So I think this is a guy, started 12 games at right tackle. I think this just makes sense for the Jets.
Absolutely. And he's also agile, which will be perfect for when they run those read options with their new signed quarterback, Justin Fields.
Yep, I agree. Well, let's keep it rolling. Moving on to the 8th pick, the Carolina Panthers, Colin. I think there's a player here you want to talk a lot about.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we go to the University of Arizona. So Tetaroa McMillan, T-Mac as Arizona fans call him. I think he's going to go to the Panthers. Bryce Young obviously struggled his rookie season. Again, started off kind of struggling in his sophomore season. Got benched, and then he started emerging as a star towards the end of the season. What they lack is offensive weapons. They have a decent O-line, but I think getting weapons for Bryce Young is essential here. T-Mac kind of offers them a jump ball receiver that can be a safety valve for him. And I really think that this could be that takes him to the next level to see what he could be like, just like C.J. Stroud. So I think T-Mac makes the most sense here. I argue he's the best wide receiver in this draft.
Yeah, I agree. The Panthers need weapons.
They need
weapons. I mean, they got Adam Thielen right now, Xavier Legette, but is that enough to get Bryce Hump over his hump that we've been talking about?
No.
They think Bryce Young really needs a weapon like him. I think this doesn't make sense pick for the Panthers.
Yeah, so hopefully, T-Mac, you go out there and shine wherever you land. Arizona's wishing you the best.
Yep, and now, before we take a commercial break, let's go ahead and look at the big board. The first 8 picks right there, Colin, looking pretty nice. I think I feel pretty confident about this big board.
I do too. I think we got some interesting picks coming up, though.
I agree. Well, please stay with us, because when we come back, we'll break down picks 9 through 24.
I'm Kate Condon, and you're watching UATV 3.
This is Madeline Heinrich, and you're watching UATV 3.
I'm Jaden Zelm. I'm Demetra Alarcon. I'm Carly Siegel. I'm Delaney Penn. I'm Gabby Rosenberg. I'm Rachel. My name's Simone.
I'm Isabella Will.
I'm Avery Klein.
I'm Joey Bernal Alonso.
And I'm Pablo Rojas.
And you're watching
Welcome back. Now, we picked the Panthers pick. Now, I think it's time to move on to our next team. This is a really interesting pick, Colin. The New Orleans Saints. How are we feeling about that?
Yeah, well, there's some recent news coming out of the Saints camp that Derek Carr has an apparent injury, and they're not sure if he'll be able to start the season. Either way, I don't think he's our long-term option, so I have them picking Shedeur Sanders here, and I guess someone could say it's perfect timing. If you roll that footage, I think he is the best pick to fit in with the New Orleans Saints. From every single play, if you look here against Baylor, game on the line, he's got that dog, he's got ice in his veins. Hail Mary, boom, we're going to overtime. They would later win that game. Against UCF, they were picked to lose this game. Here's an absolute dime down the field for another touchdown to put him up 14-7. Again, the mobility here, run it all over, off balance throw, perfect rope to your guy, Travis Hunter down there. I think he's got it all. There's obviously some questions about his arm strength, his mobility, but if you look right here, he's got that perfect accuracy, which makes him an NFL caliber quarterback, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on Shedeur. I want to touch on the Saints. I mean, this is a pick that's got a lot of draft rumors right now. I mean, there's everything coming out about this team. Who are they picking? Shedeur is at plus 1,200 right now to be the 9th pick, and Jackson
Crazy.
Dart at plus 1,000. honestly, I'm calling smoke screens right now. I think Shedeur should be the favorite right here.
Agree.
Hopefully, when we approach the draft, we'll see some skew. If I'm putting my money on it, I think we both agree Shedeur makes sense for the Saints here.
Absolutely.
And I got to agree with you.
All right. I think we move on then.
Let's move on to the next pick. Moving on to the Chicago Bears with the 10th pick. And this is a team that needs O-line here, Colin.
Absolutely. Listen, when it comes to developing the quarterback, again, like I said earlier, you need weapons and you need protection. And Caleb Williams struggled all year getting sacked, I think the most out of every quarterback in the NFL. So you need to go tackle here. And honestly, the probably most raw and highest ceiling tackle in this entire draft, Kevin Banks Jr. out of Texas. He is the best. Also, Ben Johnson loves his O-line. Detroit had an amazing O-line when he was there. Obviously, his O-line could also catch. I don't think Kelvin Banks Jr. can catch, but he'll be able to block and make sure Caleb Williams has time to throw the ball.
Yeah, I mean, some people think this is the best offensive tackle in college football. Unanimous All-American, very experienced, 42 career starts. Won the Jacobs blocking trophy. I mean, this guy, I really like him. I got his NFL comp as former Cardinal and New York Giant Justin Pugh. So
Okay.
I see a lot of his game in him. I think Kelvin Banks Jr. has the potential to look back as one of those players that like people kind of slept on a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. He obviously dealt with some injuries this season, but I think honestly this is probably a lock for the Bears, and they should definitely go offensive line because you need Caleb Williams to stay up on his 2 feet.
Yep. All right, going on to the next pick. The Niners at, I mean,
I know.
Colin, you talk about this one because this one hurts.
Listen, I know Chance over here, Cardinals fan, you really want Will Johnson, but I don't think he's falling to you guys. I have the 49ers taking Will Johnson here. They lost almost 8 starters on defense to free agency. They absolutely desperately need secondary help. They lost Tre'Davious Ward as well. Listen, he's the best overall corner in this entire draft. Travis Hunter may be play corner, but he's not the best pure position corner. I know there's some concerns about his health, so that might impact his draft stock, but I say screw all that. Take him here at 11.
Yeah, this one hurts, Colin. This one hits home because I really want this guy on my team.
Yeah.
This is a guy that could change the Cardinals, but we're being realistic here. We're going off the draft. And if I think the Niners who are going to pick, they're going to make the best pick, which is going to be Will Johnson. This guy is a second-team All-American. We all remember him in that national championship game. Absolute lockdown. He got injured this year with turf toe, so that was really unfortunate for him. But, I mean, you know this guy. He's a high-ceiling player. I got his player comp as J.C. Horn.
Ooh.
So I think that's a guy he really plays like. And, I mean, this guy, college football national championship game MVP. We know this guy's a winner. Unfortunately, the Niners are winners. They're taking a winner right here.
Yeah, I mean, in the 49ers, they're no mystery on how they develop players. I think it'll turn into a real stud in the future.
Yep. All right. Moving on to the Cowboys. Your favorite team, Colin.
Yeah, one could say, I guess.
I'll talk about this one first. We have the Cowboys picking Matthew Golden, the wide receiver out of Texas, 5'11", 191 pounds. I mean, this guy is a speedster. Ran the fastest 40 time at the combine with a 4.29 40-yard dash.
blazing.
Doesn't compare to Xavier Worthy.
Definitely not.
All right, his Texas alumni, but I mean, this guy just makes sense. Houston guy, he's from Houston, lived in Texas his whole life. I think they keep him in state.
Absolutely. Listen, Jerry Jones loves his stories. Born in Texas, played at Texas. He gonna get drafted in Texas. They desperately need another wide receiver to pair with CeeDee Lamb. Too many times CeeDee was double covered, and Dak Prescott had no one to throw to. This is the most easy pick in the entire draft right here.
I agree. Let's move on to the Dolphins. The Fins, Colin. This team, they need a lot. Offensive line, D-line, corner. What are we thinking?
I have them taking Jalen Walker out of Georgia. He's an athletic linebacker who can play defense, and he can also cover tight ends well. So that's going to be important when you're in the AFC East. You're going to have to obviously you got Josh Allen out there. You got to be able to stop his tight end attack. So I think he's the best option for them at linebacker.
Yeah, I got his NFL comp as Nolan Smith, the former Georgia Bulldog on the Eagles.
Georgia just be producing.
Hey, when in doubt, take a Bulldog in the first round,
I
right?
guess so.
But I mean, yeah, this guy is great. The Dolphins need a player like him. And also, a little side note, going on the food conversation, this guy can make some really good salmon and rice. This video went viral of him on social media of making salmon and rice in the Georgia locker room in the little kitchen they have. I mean, God, this guy can cook on and off the field, Colin. So I like the Fins. Jalen Walker to the Fins.
He'll fit right in Miami then.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%. Moving on to the Colts here. They're taking a really good player.
I think having taking Tyler Warren out of Penn State, I know our producer Jason is a little upset about that. However, I think when you look at the Colts, this pick is a pick about your future and figuring out if Anthony Richardson is your future. Obviously, he had a lot of issues if you roll the tape. Tyler Warren was the most reliable and explosive player all season. He was a catching machine. Anything, one-handed catch, are you kidding me? I'm not doing that in June, that's for sure. I mean, he can catch literally everything. Put him in the Wildcat, he's still going to score. He looks like George Kittle mixed with Josh Allen. Screen passes, deep passes. Don't worry, he's got run after the catch speed too against USC. Almost takes it to the house. Drew Aller going deep. Yeah, give me that. That's all day. Easy. Easy money. Anthony Richardson needs this pick right here behind the, and they're just going to make a run, get a first down, pick up some more yards. That's what the Colts is missing in this offense to be an explosive offense, and they need to figure out if Anthony Richardson is the move or if they need to move on.
Yeah, Tyler Warren, I mean, the John Mackey Award winner for best tight end in college football. This is a football guy. I mean, I got
Absolutely.
his NFL comp as Greg Olsen.
Ooh, okay.
I think I see a lot of his game in him. I don't think that's an over-exaggeration either.
Definitely
you know how
not.
great Greg Olsen is. This guy has the ceiling for that.
Yep.
Best tight end in college football, 6'5", 256. You are getting an absolute beast at tight end with this pick, Colts.
Absolute stud for sure.
Let's lock it in. Next pick, we're moving on to the Falcons, and they're getting a guy who had a really good season this year.
Yeah, so we have them picking Mike Green out of Marshall. Some notes, he's an explosive, bendy edge. Obviously, he was named, I think, the best defensive edge in the entire college football. However, I think there are some question marks about his competition level. Obviously, he played at Marshall, so he's not playing against any really big-name schools, so it'll be interesting to see how that translates to the NFL.
Yeah, I can say one thing about this guy. He is a worker. He played at Virginia, transferred to Marshall. He gained 40 pounds at Marshall. 40 pounds. This guy is an absolute tank. You watch him play on the field, he is like a physical specimen out there. I mean, it is insane. I got his NFL comp as a shorter Leonard Floyd.
Ooh, okay.
So at 6'3", 251, I think this guy has the potential, high ceiling, I say low floor.
Absolutely, I would agree with that.
Moving on to the team that everyone cares about most. It's the Arizona Cardinals. And, you know, this pick, I wish it was Will Johnson.
I'll take a little backseat here. I'll let you,
thank you.
Let you do your work.
I'll let you do your Giants. Let me do my Cardinals. I mean, I don't want to edge here, you know, but I know Monty Osifort, I know Jonathan Gannon, we're taking an edge. And if I had to put odds favor on this, I'm going with Shamar Stewart. So, I mean, let's just roll the tape. Let's just look at this guy. So, I mean, like, if you want to find out we don't block him, I mean, bam, that's what happens. You get destroyed. Look at this screen right here. He picks up the slack, gets to the ball. I mean, this guy is just, like, all over the field calling against Bowling Green, gets to the quarterback. He knows how to get in the backfield right there, stopping the run game. This guy is just, I mean, a physical specimen in the backfield right here. I mean, he makes life hard for the quarterback, makes his quarterback throw it out of bounds. And then right here, I mean, he just knows how to play the game, get in the backfield, a physical guy, and a guy the Cardinals need to disrupt the backfield, stop the run game. We know in the NFL right now, running backs are taking off, and quarterbacks who are mobile, you got to have an edge to stop them. And I think this is the guy to do it.
Agreed.
Let's lock it in. Moving on. Actually, before we move on, Colin, let's get a look at the big board here, top 16 picks, and just see how it's looking. I mean, we got a lot of good guys off the board. I think a lot of good prospects left. A lot of teams filling some needs.
Yeah, definitely. I think some teams filled some needs here. I like our pick with Golden to the Cowboys. I like Warren to the Colts. I think we have an overall pretty good draft. Shador Sanders, I think, could fall. I think the team could trade up for him as well, which I think we'll get into a little later.
I agree. Moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals at 17, Colin.
Yeah, listen, the Cincinnati Bengals have struggled this last season. They had Joe Burrow, who probably should have been the MVP. You have Jamar Chase, who leads the NFL in the Triple Crown. And you have one of the best pass rushers. Yet you get blown out every game. Why? Because your secondary is absolutely abysmal. So I have them taking Jahdae Barron, the corner out of Texas. I think he is arguably the second to third best corner. Again, not a deep corner draft, so maybe an overreach at this pick, but you need to get the secondary some help.
I agree. I mean, Jahdae Barron, no discredit or anything, but absolutely robbed Travis Hunter of the Jim Thorpe Award. But That's my opinion. We're just going to leave that at that. But this guy was technically by award the best corner in college football. First team All-SEC. I think this is pretty much a home run pick for the Bengals here. I mean, this guy, he can do it all. Peach Bowl defensive MVP. I really like him for the Bengals. I think this is a great pick.
Absolutely, I would agree.
Moving on to the Seahawks, a team that I know like Colin, so how about you take us away with this one?
Yeah, listen, they obviously made some big news this offseason when they signed Sam Darnold to that massive contract. One thing about Sam Darnold, he does not play well under pressure, otherwise he'll be seeing ghosts. So you want, again, to build that offensive line to keep him on his 2 feet so he can play at his highest level. Therefore, I have them taking Gray Zabel out of North Dakota State. He has some power and agility. He's ideal to solidify the Seahawks offensive line. There is a little bit of worry about him playing at North Dakota State, not playing against some top teams. So we'll have to see how that translates. But I think his footwork and his mechanics are ideal for the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. Like, guy from a smaller school, you're never too sure about. But one thing, this guy did get the NIL offers to go to bigger schools.
Absolutely.
But turned it down to go play with his brother at North Dakota State. This is a guy that has character, a locker room guy. This is a guy that you would want your offensive line, a guy that can easily mesh with that Seahawks offensive line right now, come in, be an immediate impact. I see this guy doing a lot for the Seahawks,
Agreed.
sadly. So let's lock it in. Moving on to the Bucks at pick 19, and they're going to have a pretty good player here.
Yeah, so obviously they got Jihad Campbell from Alabama. I think he's an absolute stud. He brings speed, toughness to the locker room of linebackers that's kind of getting up there in age and a little bit thin, so I think he would be a massive addition to that team as a whole. However, he lacks some elite instincts and coverage, so he might be a liability on that side, which you might have to account for.
Yeah, this guy's got great speed, and he's like a modern-day linebacker build. I got his NFL accomplished Trey Edmonds. So I think this is a guy on the field. He can impact the Bucks right away. We know they love their linebackers. First team All SEC in 2024. I mean, this is a guy that can make an impact for the Bucks. I think it's just the right pick here.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the Denver Broncos, and Colin, we have a special message.
Yes, we do.
From our technical director, Jason Hoefer. So without further ado, let's see who Jason's got the Broncos picking.
Thanks, Colin and Chance. Omarion Hampton is who I have my Denver Broncos selecting. I think this pick fills a huge void for the offense and gives Sean Payton and Bo Nix a weapon to help revive the lackluster running game from last year. He ran a 4.4 40 and was second-team All-American. I believe he'll be a stud with Sean Payton at the helm.
Thank you so much, Jason. And I mean, you got to agree with him. The Broncos need running back here. I know he's hoping the Broncos trade for Genty. I know he is. But if they don't get Genty, I like this pick for Jason, his Broncos.
Yep, I'm not going to disagree with the man who knows his team best. I know he was a little shocked by Bo Nix, but he ended up playing well. So I think Sean Payton will make another great pick in this draft. And I think it's absolutely the right move.
Yep, and I agree. And let's go ahead and move on to the Steelers. This very controversial pick. Colin, take it away.
Listen, I think this is an overreach. I have Jackson Dart being picked here by the Steelers. They have 0 starting caliber quarterback on their roster right now. They got Mason Rudolph as their day 1 starter, and I think that's going to end poorly. Mike Tomlin never had a losing season. I don't think he's about to let that happen. So I think they make a reach for Dart here. If you roll a tape, we can dissect his film. However, I won't be his biggest fan. He's got the mobility. He's going to take off here past the 10. He's going to dive into the end zone for a touchdown. Absolutely massive arms straight down the pylon to the touchdown. Going to step up in the pocket here. Great mobility, great awareness to find a wide open receiver with no one really guarding him. He's going to slide around here. Deep pass throw all the way. What a catch. Against LSU here, he's going to step back in the pocket, absolutely unleash a bomb downfield. Listen, he's got all the traits to be a good quarterback, but I don't know if his decision-making skills are... That's what keeps him from being a day 1 guy, if you ask me. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, Colin. I mean, to be fair, like he broke Eli Manning's passing record at Ole Miss. I mean, Eli Manning, that's your guy, that Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah, that's my guy. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Jackson Dart is not that guy, however. So I know there's a lot of rumors the Giants might take him. I would be very disappointed if that was the case.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I'm rooting for everyone this draft. I'm rooting for Dart. This guy in high school was a Utah high school football legend at Ole Miss. Will he continue that? It'll be very interesting to watch. He needs the right system. He needs the right coach. He needs time to learn. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. It's a waiting game.
I do think the Steelers are one of those teams that probably will be looking to look to move up in the draft. I know they are in love with Shedeur Sanders. I think if Shedeur gets past 3 at the Giants, I could see them moving up with the Jets or even the Raiders to take him.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go ahead and move on here to the
They are the
Los
San Diego
Angeles Chargers. That's a big debate. But the Los Angeles Chargers here, I think this pick's pretty obvious. Jim Harbaugh. I think they're going to go tight end here, Colston Loveland.
Absolutely.
I think this guy makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's a big tight end, 6'6", 248. So I think the Chargers, they're going to miss out on Tyler Warren. They opt out to the next option they can get. They need wide receiver and tight end. I mean, this guy, second team All Big Ten. I mean, he's a finalist for the John Mackey Award. If it wasn't for Tyler Warren, I think he would have won it. So it's a guy I really like, Colin.
Absolutely. I'm not going to fight you on any of that. There's obviously that Michigan connection. You know, he provides a much-needed weapon for this team. They struggle with passing the football, and I think they really want to unlock Justin Herbert to his full potential.
I agree. 4 Michigan players in this first draft, insane.
And we might have some more.
Yeah, might have some more. I might have just spoiled it because the Packers...
They got Kenneth Grant, another defensive lineman. He's a massive interior threat who is a game wrecker against the run. After what Saquon Barkley did to them in that playoff game, they should absolutely be looking to fill that defensive line. Fun fact, they have not taken a wide receiver or skill position since 2002, and that's not changing in this draft either.
Yes, I would say shout out my friend Brett. I went to him. I was like, hey, who are the Packers picking? He said Kenneth Grant. This is a Packer pick. And I agree. 3rd-team All-American, 2nd-team All-Big Ten, a national champion. The Packers traditionally are winners. They want a winner on their team. I think this pick makes a lot of sense for their D-line.
I agree.
Moving on to the Packers' rival, the Minnesota Vikings. Here at 24, Colin, who have you guys taken?
Yeah, I don't think anyone expected them to be picking this late in the draft, so there's a little bit of talent that maybe they thought they would originally have early in the draft. In the process, they wouldn't, but I think they pick up here Malachi Starks. Obviously, their secondary has been a little depleted, and it's starting to get up there in age, so I think Stark brings a level of athleticism and leadership to that secondary.
Yeah, I agree. 2nd-team All-American, 2nd-team All-SEC. I think this guy is obviously one of the best DBs in this draft. I got his NFL comp as Jesse Bates. I think he has a high ceiling, low floor, a lot of potential. Probably one of the best safeties in this draft. I don't see a reason not to like this guy. Just, of course, you get it late in this first round. There's some questions.
Definitely, 100%.
So, with that being said, let's get a recap of our big board here after pick 24. And Colin, I think we're looking pretty good. I feel pretty confident.
Yeah, I like what we have so far. I think Jackson Dart is a little bit of a surprise pick here, and I wouldn't pick him there, but
I know you're not happy about that one, Colin.
It's the quarterbacks. Teams reach for QBs, and I think this will be a mistake for the Steelers, but I think in the end of the day, in the real draft, they'll probably end up getting Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, I agree. And with that being said, please stay with us because when we come back, we will pick the last 8 picks of our mock draft. Welcome back, Colin. Let's finish out these last 8 picks. Let's end it with a bang. Starting with the Houston Texans here. I mean, who we got them picking?
So we have them picking Emeka Ibuka from Ohio State. I think the Texans had a little bit of a disappointing season this year. There was a lot of Super Bowl contenders that they were thought of, with C.J. Stroud being an absolute stud his rookie year. There was a little bit of drop off, and I think that was because of the wide receiver play. They got hit with the injury bug, so I know you have to break down the film.
Yes, and I want to break down this guy's film because Emeka Ibuka just makes sense for the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud, Ohio State guy. I mean, roll the tape. Right here, I mean, these first 2 catches, you can see great hands, great route running. And the one thing about Emeka Ibuka, this guy can score touchdowns. Look at the speed right there versus Marshall. That is 6 to the house, Colin. Great speed for this guy. He knows how to score. And you're going to see these next 3 clips. He can score touchdowns. And a team like the Texans, they need touchdowns. They're trying to win Super Bowls. They're trying to get over the hump. They need a guy like this. Stroud needs a guy like this. You'll see his last clip versus Oregon in a crucial game. Look at that catch. I mean, this is a guy I can see C.J. Stroud slinging the ball to.
Absolutely.
Columbus, a connection. I really like this pick for the Texans.
Absolutely. After they let Stephon Diggs walk, I think you absolutely need to pick a wide receiver here. Get him some more weapons. C.J. Stroud looked a little lost out there. There was not a lot of options, so absolutely right move here.
I agree. Let's go ahead and move on to the Los Angeles Rams. Colin, who we got?
So Walter Nolan comes off the board here for the Rams out of Mississippi. Again, explosive defensive lineman with elite traits and a future anchor for this Rams D line. They've kind of struggled with defensive tackle after Aaron Donald retired. They picked up they had a pretty good pass rush. However, they struggled with the run. Saquon Barkley, as he did all season, terrorized teams. This is one of those teams.
Yeah, I agree. This guy, 6'6", 296. I mean, first team All-American, first team All-SEC. Was the number one in his class in high school. This guy knows how to handle the pressure. A national recruit. I could see him going to the Rams and making a difference for that defense.
100%. Agreed.
Let's lock it in. Got a couple more players to talk about here. Moving on to the Ravens. This is a team that needs players. They're trying to get over that hump to win Super Bowls. Who's that player?
Yeah, I think they've figured out their offense. I don't know if there's too many pieces late in this draft that they can find an offensive weapon for Lamar Jackson. I think they need to establish that defense. It struggled immensely this year. I would have them picking a secondary player here, but I don't love any of the corners on the board for them. So I have them taking James Pierce Jr., edge out of Tennessee. He's a speed rusher with a relentless motor, and that fits that aggressive Ravens defense mindset with all their histories from Ed Reed to everyone.
Yeah, I agree. And James Pierce Jr., unfortunately, this is a guy that's had some off-the-field issues.
Absolutely.
And I really hope when he gets in the NFL, he cleans it up. He should have been a higher pick. This is a great prospect. Should have been a higher pick. The off-the-field issues are kind scaring away teams a little bit, but if we're talking about him as a football player, this guy is a dog. I really like him. I mean, 6'5", 245 out of Tennessee, first team All-SEC. This is a guy I really like, Colin. If he could clean up the off-the-field issues, get him in the Ravens, they have great culture.
Absolutely.
They can build around him. I think they can really help this guy out.
I was going to say, if there's a place you want to go if you have off-the-field issues, it's the Ravens. That franchise is top tier, one of the best. I think they'll actually have him on a clean arrow, and he'll be a great player for them to make a playoff run.
I agree. Let's move on to another team who is just trying to win that Super Bowl, haven't even won one ever. The Lions here, Colin. Who we got?
Listen, I think they take Mykal Williams, edge out of Georgia. After they lost Aiden Hutchinson with that injury, that terrible injury early in the season against the Cowboys, they had virtually no pass rush with just 4. I think you take him. He's a powerful agile edge here, and would be added to a nasty Lions front. And you put him across from Aiden Hutchinson. That gives this team the absolute hump, get that over the hump edge right there.
Yeah, and this is a really tough player. The season opener, he got injured with an ankle injury, but played through it. So this is a really tough guy.
He's tough.
Second team All-SEC. I mean, he's just a really good player. Lots of scouts are calling him out, saying he has a low floor to high ceiling. I would have to agree. But at the end of the day, like we said before in this mock draft, Georgia got it first round. When in doubt, take him. I mean, Kirby Smart has got the NFL factory going over there, especially for defensive players from Georgia. I say you're locking in.
Yeah, he's an absolute. He fits Dan Campbell's defensive mindset to a T. Absolute lock here for the Lions.
I agree. Moving on to the Commanders here. Interesting pick here.
Yeah, so the Commanders obviously made a lot of offseason moves and at the trade deadline. So their defense needs some improvements. Obviously, they have Dan Quinn, who's a defensive-minded head coach, and their defense was kind of their downfall at the end of the season. So we have them picking Donovan Ezeki-Uwa, but edge out of Boston College. He's a high motor rusher to pair with the Commanders' front 7 talent. I think their defense needs a lot of improvements here.
I agree. This guy, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-American. This guy is a really difference maker. Like you said, the Commanders last year, nobody was expecting running for them to be good. But Jalen Daniels explodes.
Absolute
this
stud.
Team explodes. And they didn't really have a Super Bowl team. But if they want to build that team, have a legitimate chance next year, and they need that defense to go with that offense. So I think Donovan here is a great pick for the Commanders.
Yeah, the team definitely overachieved, but I think they can get back to that with quarterback play. Hopefully there's no sophomore slump for Jaden Daniels. I think this is the best choice for them here.
I agree. Moving on to the Bills, this is a player I really like, calling Trey Amos. This guy is a dog, and I want to break down his film. I mean, look at this guy. He has been locking down the SEC all season. I mean, this guy is a ball hawk, knows how to get to the ball right here versus LSU. His best game of the season. Pass breakup after pass breakup in this game. He is all over the field down there at Death Valley. Another pass breakup, and maybe his best play of the game right here, an interception in the 4th quarter. I mean, this guy is all over the field. Just pass breakup after pass breakup. This guy knows how to cover wide receivers, a guy you need tackling running backs in the NFL. And in a Bills system where they're trying to get over the hump, trying to beat the Chiefs, this is a guy they need on the other side of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, when you're playing Patrick Mahomes multiple times in a season, especially in the playoffs, you need someone who can take away wide receivers and their tight ends. I think Trey almost says it the best. He's a blanket corner as well.
I agree. Moving on to the Chiefs. We just talked about them. Isn't it ironic? Who we got?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs here will probably trade out of the draft. I have some teams that I think will be looking to take a wide receiver or a quarterback late and try and trade back into the draft to pick one of those guys. So I would most likely look at the Chiefs to trade out. If not, though, I have them picking Josh Connerly Jr., the tackle out of Oregon. Listen, in that Super Bowl, they got killed by the Eagles' defensive line. Patrick Mahomes is getting sacked left, right, and center. I think you need to reshore that up after they lost to Tampa Bay. Same issue, offensive line. What did they do in that next draft? They took offensive line. So I think they did the same thing.
Yeah, I agree, Colin. This is such a Chiefs pick. I mean, this guy had his best game of the season versus Abdul Carter. I mean, the Chiefs are watching this tape. They're scouting this guy. They've seen that. He's kind of going under the radar, but for an Oregon team that was very good this year, besides the game against Ohio State, I know this is the guy that the Chiefs are going to use. They're going to take advantage of him. I see him as a starter.
Absolutely, I agree.
I agree. Let's move on to our last team, Colin. It's your favorite team.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles, Colin, at 32. Who you got?
Yeah, the Eagles, I wish you guys would just forfeit your pick altogether, but unfortunately that's not going to happen because I'm a Giants fan, so God forbid I see myself happy in life. However, I do have the Eagles picking Nick Scowerton, edge out of Texas A&M. Again, I think this is a trade target for a lot of teams looking to trade up to get that quarterback wide receiver late in the draft. He's an explosive edge presence in this defensive line, has some aging vets and lost some players in free agency, most notably Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. They need DBs as well. I don't know if they love enough of these DBs to take them with a 32nd overall pick. I think they trade back, maybe take one early. It's day 2.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much, Eagles, for letting Josh Sweat go in free agency, giving him to my Cardinals. I really appreciate it. We need an edge bad like Josh Sweat, so that was huge. But this guy overall, first team All-SEC. We know he's a playmaker. He's all over the field. Finalist for the Lot Impact Trophy. I really like him. And you know what I really like about him more is his food choice. This guy's favorite food, lemon pepper wings and tenders. Lemon pepper is a great flavor. You can't go wrong with that. You can't go wrong with that. I think the Eagles saw that. Oh, yeah, let's lock him in.
The Eagles have a history of picking good players, so I'm sure he'll end up being a Hall of Famer anyways.
Yeah, well, that being said, let's go look at our final big board with all 32 picks, Colin. Please, give me your final thoughts.
Listen, I think overall, from 1 to 32, this is a great draft for everyone. I think some big upsets or some surprise, definitely Jackson Dart. I think Mbuka going this early. I know a lot of people have him as a day 2 guy as well. I think, that Texans connection will be great. Genty, I think he can go higher. There's a lot of questions. Do running backs still deserve to go top 10, especially that early? I guess we'll have to find out.
Yes, and the last thing I'm going to point out, Shedeur Sanders. He is the biggest storyline of this draft. Where will he fall? Where will he rise? Yeah. I think he's one of those players we're going to look at. Will he fall second round? Anything's a possibility with him. Overall, that's going to be what I'm going to be watching. And, of course, I'm going to be watching my Cardinals. If you can hear me, Cardinals, please, please, please trade up for Will Johnson. Somebody's going to take him before 16. So, please, please trade up for Will Johnson. Don't let the Niners get him.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And Eagles have a bad draft, which is not going to happen. So, Giants, good luck, I guess.
Yep. Well, with that being said, let's wrap it up, Colin. Thank you so much. This was really fun doing this with you. And UATV's first mock draft.
Yep, and hopefully there'll be more to come.
Can't wait to see the mock draft for next year. Thank you for joining us tonight. And please, tune into the Starting Live tomorrow. Have a great night.